12, Section 1, Types of Local Government. All right, so when you're looking at this, here are the objectives. We want you to know the difference between the county and a township. We want you to be able to explain how the New England towns were run. We want you to learn about special districts, and we want you to be able to describe the different types of city government. So those are the 4 things we want you to do, all right? 4 things: counties and townships, explain New England towns, how they're run, learn about special districts, and know the different types of city government. All right, so the terms you're going to look at are board, municipality, ordinances. Your main idea is that there are many varieties of local government. Certain governmental structures are ideal for small towns. Large city governments are organized in a different way because they're so big. All right, so here we go. The Constitution gives powers to the federal and state governments, but not to local governments, counties, cities, and towns. Local governments are created by the states and have only those powers that the states give them. The powers that state governments give a local government help meet the many needs of the communities throughout the nation. Many people you see every day work for local governments: teachers, librarians, bus drivers, police officers, among others. Your daily life relies on the services of local governments, such as garbage collection, road repair, and water supply. Local government is the level that is closest to you. It has the greatest effect on your everyday life. Counties and townships. Our oldest unit of local government is the county. Rooted in England, the county form of government came to North America with the English colonists. Settlers divided colonies into counties to carry out laws in rural areas. Because farmers lived far apart, county business was done at a place most people could reach within a day's wagon journey. This distance to the county seat set the boundaries of many counties. Today, most counties help state governments keep law and collect taxes. Counties may also offer many other services, like libraries, from libraries to healthcare. County officials. Most counties are governed by county heads. A board is a group of people who manage the business of an organization. Most county boards have 3 to 5 elected members called commissioners or supervisors. Board members set up county programs and pass ordinances, which are local laws. The county board shares its power with other boards, which run hospitals, libraries, and other special programs. Perhaps the best known elected county official is the sheriff. The office of sheriff has its roots in England, just like the county form of government itself. The sheriff, with the help of deputies, run the county jail and enforce the laws. Sheriffs often work in rural areas not covered by city or state police. Other county officials may include the assessor, who figures property values, the treasurer, who sends the property tax bill, and the county clerk, who keeps official records such as marriage certificates. Townships. In the Middle Atlantic states and in the Midwest, counties are often divided into townships. At first, townships were needed to help carry out duties such as setting up schools and repairing roads in rural areas far from the county seat. Over the years, though, cities have grown larger and transportation has improved. So most of these duties have been taken over by county and city governments. In many urban areas, townships simply elect representatives to serve on the county boards. New England towns. In New England, another form of rural government grew up, the town. When people from other countries came to the New England colonies, they were given land. Groups of settlers started a town by building villages with homes, a church, and a school. They also planted crops in the nearby farmlands. The town was made up of both the village and the farmlands. Citizens took an active part in local government in the early New England towns. The voters met once a year at town meetings to pass laws, set taxes, and decide how the money should be spent. This kind of town meeting still takes place today in some small New England towns. It is the closest thing we have to direct democracy. At the yearly town meeting in a New England town, citizens elect a board of 3 to 5 members. The board carries on town business during the year. Other officials, such as the school board members, the town clerk, the assessor, and the treasurer, are chosen by the town board or elected by the voters. As you can see, towns in New England have most of the duties that counties have in other regions. Like townships, New England towns have changed over the years because some towns have become larger. It is not easy for all the citizens to gather together to decide things. Therefore, in many large towns, the voters choose representatives to attend town meetings. Some towns have hired managers to take care of the town's business. Special districts. Sometimes it does not make sense for a community to handle certain matters alone. For example, it would not make sense for each community in a dry region to build its own water supply system. It would be too much work and cost too much money. In such a case, all the communities in the region ask the state to make a special water district to supply water to the whole region. A special district is a unit of government that generally provides a single service. It can serve one community or cover parts of several communities. Special districts serve many needs. In cities, they provide subways and parks. Rural special districts protect people from fires or control insects. Most such districts are run by a board. One special district that you know about is your school district, and that's where we have the school board. Cities. A government that serves people who live in an urban area is called a municipality. Most municipalities, especially those that serve large populations, are called cities. Some municipalities that serve small populations are called towns or villages. As the population of the United States has grown, so also has the size of our cities. Today, a mid-sized American city has between 25,000 and 250,000 citizens. Several cities have millions of people. Governments of large cities must meet many different needs, including pollution control and drug abuse programs. The boundaries and powers of a municipality, which can be a city, town, or village, are set by the state. Some communities write charters or plans of government that must be approved by the state. In other communities, the plan of government is set by a state law. No matter how they are formed, the governments of most municipalities follow one of 3 plans: the mayor council, council manager, or commission. The mayor council plan. The mayor council plan also comes from England. The mayor, like the English prime minister or the American president, is the executive. The council, like the English parliament or the American Congress, is the legislative branch. About 35% of the cities in the United States use the mayor council plan. Under this plan, the duties and powers of city officials depend on whether the city uses a weak mayor plan or a strong mayor plan. Under the weak mayor plan, the mayor does not have special executive powers. In fact, most of the power rests with the council. The council is elected by the people and acts as both a legislative and an executive body. The council can choose the mayor from among its members. The council also chooses other officials, makes ordinances, and decides how money should be spent. The weak mayor plan dates back to the colonies. The early settlers in the colonies did not trust the English government. When they formed their own city governments, they did not want to give too much power to one person. All right, so in the diagram here, you see the weak mayor plan, and this is where the voter picks the council. They can also vote on the mayor, but then the council could also choose the mayor. That's what that means here. And then the council decides who the department heads are. In the strong mayor plan, you'll look, the voters can choose the council and the mayor, but in the strong mayor plan, you'll see that the mayor chooses the department heads. In Morris, we kind of have a combination of a weak mayor plan with a council manager plan. Okay, so during the first century of our nation's history, most cities used the weak mayor plan. As cities grew in size, however, strong leadership was needed in City Hall. By the late 1800s, most large cities had switched to a strong mayor plan. In this plan, the relationship between the mayor and the council is more like that between the president and Congress. The council makes ordinances, but the mayor is elected by the voters and is in charge of the budget, makes policies, and chooses city officials. The city manager plan the council manager plan. By the early 1900s, many cities were in the grasp of political groups called machines. City officials did favors for the machine, such as giving jobs to politicians and friends. In return, the machine helped the officials get elected again. This arrangement often led to corruption. Officials looked after their own interests instead of looking after the public interest. To create honest government, some people came up with the council manager plan. The goal of this plan is to run government like a business. In the council manager plan, the council is chosen through an election in which candidates have no political ties. The council makes ordinances and hires a city manager to handle day-to-day city business. It is the manager, not the mayor, who prepares the budget and is in charge of people who work for the city. Because the manager is not elected, he or she is supposed to be free from political pressures. The council manager plan is what we basically have in Morris, but we do have a weak mayor as well. So there you have it. The commission plan, another reform of city government, took place in Galveston, Texas in 1900. The city had been destroyed by a hurricane. The weak mayor government that Galveston had at the time could not manage the rebuilding. Local citizens convinced the state to approve a new form of government called a commission plan. Under this plan, voters choose several commissioners who make ordinances together. In addition, each commissioner directs one of the city's departments. The commission plan worked so well in rebuilding Galveston that hundreds of other cities decided to try it. However, the plan does not provide for a single leader to control the budget and make the departments work together. In the past few years, Galveston and most other cities that tried the plan have decided not to use it anymore. Regardless of the strengths and weaknesses of a plan of local government, its success or failure lies in the hands of the citizens. Today, most cities seek advice from groups made up of people who live there. Citizens can be heard in City Hall. All right, so that is section 1. So we're going to pause here, and I'm going to have you review some things. All right.